You'd think the Dallas Cowboys were the only team in the NFL dealing with contract drama. But let's get something straight. They're not alone, not by a long shot. Every time a star in Dallas waits for his deal, the noise gets loud. Fans panic, media stir the pot, and fingers point straight at the Jones family. Like they're the only front office struggling to sign talent on time. But let's ask the real question. On time, according to who? Fans? Agents? Players? The truth is, these deals aren't made on Twitter timelines. They're made in boardrooms, with strategy, leverage, and millions on the line. With Cowboys Minicamp in full swing, the storylines are heating up. Some position groups are getting real competitive, and there's genuine movement happening beneath the surface. But before we get swept up in the usual overreactions, let's anchor ourselves in what actually matters, what this team can do over these 3 days, and what it means for the season ahead. And here's the first reality check. The Cowboys aren't breaking any league norms. They're not late. They're not lost. They're just playing the same financial chess game every other franchise plays. Let's stop acting like Dallas is some outlier when it comes to paying its stars. This isn't new, and it isn't exclusive to Arlington. Look at Washington. The Commanders have spent years searching for a true WR1. They finally have one, Terry McLaurin. And now he's skipping mandatory camp because he's still waiting on his extension. Want to talk urgency? The guy's been their most consistent weapon, and they're hesitating. Meanwhile, elite pass rushers like TJ Watt and Trey Hendrickson are also holding out. You hear that? That's not just a Dallas problem. Those two have outproduced almost every edge rusher in the league over the past 2 seasons, including Micah Parsons, and their teams haven't cut checks yet either. So let's be real. These contract negotiations aren't about fairness or timing or loyalty. They're about business. And in the business of football, leverage is everything. In fact, waiting often benefits the player. The market shifts, prices rise, and the payday ends up being sweeter than it would have been a year earlier. Unless you're Le'Veon Bell, who bet big and lost. Most players come out ahead when they stay patient and perform. The key word? Performance. So why are fans losing sleep over timelines that have nothing to do with them? This isn't about your peace of mind. This is about billion-dollar franchises making million-dollar decisions. They don't consult the comment section before they sign checks. And for Cowboys fans especially, calm down. History says if Dallas wants to keep a star, they do. They don't let top-tier talent walk out the door. Micah Parsons will get his deal. It's not a question of if, it's when. The panic, the outrage, the victim mentality that floats around every time a contract's not signed the day we want it to be. Let it go. We're not victims. We're not some cursed franchise that can't figure out how to treat its players. We're the Dallas Cowboys. And trust this. When it's time to pay Micah, he'll be taken care of. Let the rest of the league play catch-up. Let's get something straight. This idea that Jerry and Stephen Jones are the only owners in the NFL who don't take care of their players, it's just plain wrong. Too many fans have fallen into this habit of blind rage. Every little delay becomes another reason to scream, sell the team. Like clockwork, every offseason, it's the same tired cycle. They're incompetent. They don't care about the stars. They're ruining everything. But reality tells a different story. The Cowboys have one of the strongest reputations in the NFL when it comes to supporting their players, not just during their careers, but long after they hang up the cleats. Plenty of former Cowboys have spoken about how the organization helped them take care of their families even after retirement. That doesn't happen everywhere, so let's cool it with the performative anger. This is business. These deals take time, not because the Cowboys are clueless, but because they're trying to get them right. And when they do get it right, those same critics flip the script. Well, why didn't they do that sooner? You can't have it both ways. Let them handle the details. Let them get the numbers where they need to be. Because if they rush and get it wrong, It's the same people yelling about incompetence all over again. Now, let's shift gears, because this minicamp has some real storylines worth watching. First up, Dak Prescott and George Pickens. This connection is already creating a buzz. You're going to see some highlight clips over the next few days, guaranteed. The chemistry between Dak and GP3 is building fast, and fans should be excited about how this could evolve into a true game-changing duo. And before we get too carried away with viral clips and flashy plays, let's set expectations. Mandatory minicamp is important, but it's not the full contact, full speed chaos we'll see in training camp. According to NFLPA rules, teams can't engage in real team vs. team drills during this window. It's all about precision, timing, and technique, so don't overreact to what you see. Or don't see. Football without contact is like a race car stuck in neutral. You can test the engine, but you won't know how fast it really is until you drop the hammer. Still, that doesn't mean there's nothing to learn. The wide receiver battle behind CeeDee Lamb is heating up, and this is where things get interesting. Jalen Tolbert is a name to watch. His rhythm with Dak carried over from OTA sessions, and minicamp is a crucial test to see if that continues. Right behind him, Jonathan Mingo. He hasn't made much noise yet. Maybe the beat reporters aren't watching him closely, or maybe he's still getting up to speed. But that could change fast. And don't forget Trashon Holden. He's flying under the radar, but he could push someone like Jalen Brooks for a roster spot. This isn't just about the WR3 battle. It's about who can earn a place in this offense. And then there's Ryan Flournoy, a second-year receiver who's starting to look more like a pro. He's got NFL muscle now, and that could give him the edge to climb the depth chart. These names, Tolbert, Mingo, Holden, Flournoy, they're all chasing the same thing: separation. Not just on the field, but on the roster. And in a period like minicamp, where contact is limited, what really stands out are the details. Route precision, burst off the line, clean footwork, chemistry with the quarterback. That's where jobs are won. Skill positions will naturally pop more during this phase, because linemen aren't allowed to do real trench work. No full pads, no live action battles between offensive and defensive fronts. It's mostly individual and positional drills, quick technical work that sets the foundation. We'll break down those NFLPA rules in more detail in a bit, so you know exactly what's allowed and what's not during these 3 days. That way, you're not buying into hype or disappointment based on drills that don't reflect game day reality. Bottom line, this is the proving ground for the receivers. Every rep matters. Every connection with Dak matters. And someone, maybe one of the guys flying under the radar right now, is about to make their move. Let's be honest, we're not going to learn a ton from these trenches during minicamp. The linemen, both offense and defense, are in a holding pattern. No pads, no real contact, just footwork, technique, and movement reps. That's the reality of NFL offseason rules, so don't expect any major shakeups from those groups just yet. But the wide receiver room, that's a different story. That's where the real action is, because in a no-contact setting, skill positions stand out, especially when guys are battling for roles. And let's not forget, this team is still searching for that true wide receiver, 3 behind CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. Jalen Tolbert is penciled in right now, but penciled doesn't mean permanent. Jonathan Mingo is lurking. Trashon Holden is making noise. Even Ryan Flournoy could climb into the conversation. Somebody's about to separate, and this phase of the offseason is the moment to do it. Same goes for the running backs, where the depth chart is thick and the competition is real. Miles Sanders and Javonte Williams may have early momentum, but this room is crowded. Jaden Blue and Deuce Vaughn are both scrappy, electric, and hungry. If someone flashes just a bit more juice in these sessions, quicker cuts, cleaner hands, more burst, they could jump the line. Right now, it's less about final rolls and more about who gets noticed. That's what minicamp is all about, flashing enough in shorts and helmets to get more reps when the pads come on. It's a who's the real Slim Shady moment at multiple positions: wide receiver, running back, tight end. It's time to see who's stepping up and who's getting left behind. Speaking of tight ends, we already know Jake Ferguson is the starter. But the position group is far from settled. Brevin Spanford is coming fast. Not only is he the best blocker in that room already, but he's also showing promise as a reliable receiving option. If he keeps this up, he could challenge Luke Schoonmaker for those 2 tight end sets, or even force a more balanced timeshare at TE altogether. That's how well he's progressing. And yeah, pause on how that "he's coming" line sounded earlier. We'll just move past that, but don't sleep on this storyline. Brevin Spanford is playing his way into meaningful snaps. Also, keep an eye on John Stevens Jr. The talent is there, but the question with him is health. Can he stay on the field this summer? Because if he can, he brings a dynamic skill set that could make this tight end room even deeper than people think. Now back to the trenches. The offensive and defensive lines, not much to evaluate right now. Coaches can't install true scheme work, and there's no real physicality to speak of. So all we're getting is individual drill hype. He looks quick. He's moving well. Footwork looks sharp. That's fine for now, but it's just the surface. On the linebacker side, though, things are more fluid and wide open. Kenneth Murray Jr. is expected to lead the pack, but questions remain. Can Jack Sanborn keep up in coverage? Is Maris Liufau ready for NFL speed? Can Damone Clark rebound and lock down a spot? What about Shamar James? Is he a legit long-term piece or just a camp body? And the real wild card, DeMarvion Overshown. Once he's fully healthy, this linebacker rotation could look very different. But until then, someone needs to step up and command this group. Last but not least, the defensive backs. This unit has talent, no question. But there are 2 massive questions looming. Can the safeties stay healthy? Will the Cowboys make a move at the position? If there's a surprise June 1st cut coming, 2 names keep coming up: Donovan Wilson and Damone Clark. Both are talented. Both have meaningful experience. But if the Cowboys are looking to free up cap space or reset their depth chart, those are the likely candidates. It's a business, and sometimes the roster math gets cold. It's possible the team waits until after training camp to make any moves. But minicamp will give us clues. Who's running with the ones? Who's rehabbing? Who's barely being mentioned? Sometimes silence is loud. Oh, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention Trevon Diggs. Yes, he's back. Alongside Micah Parsons, Diggs was seen at the Star on Monday. All reports say he'll be full go for the start of minicamp. That's huge. You always want your elite guys around for leadership, communication, and tone setting. And having Diggs back out there, even if he's just doing walkthroughs, sends a message. This defense wants to dominate in 2025. It starts here. When it comes to Trevon Diggs, there's a lot of curiosity heading into this minicamp. And it's not just about his health. Yes, Diggs will be back at the Star, and yes, we'll likely see him working off to the side with the rehab group. But what people really want to know is, where does he stand? Not just physically, but within the organization's long-term plans. That's the bigger question right now. And the truth is, we haven't gotten a clear answer. It's not just about seeing Diggs in a Cowboys uniform again, though that's a welcome sight. It's about hearing from him. What's his mindset? What's the team's message about his recovery? What's his standing in the locker room? And honestly, it's worth listening closely to what teammates, coaches, and execs say, or don't say, about Diggs over these next few days. Something about the situation feels just a little off. Could be nothing. Could be something. Either way, it'll be one of the more fascinating undercurrents of this minicamp. Another name to keep on the radar, Micah Parsons. We know he's reported, but will he practice? That's the key. Parsons could opt for a hold-in, A growing trend around the league where a player shows up but doesn't fully participate, often related to contract considerations or just managing reps. If Parsons takes that route, it wouldn't be shocking, but it would be notable. These stars aren't just elite athletes. They're brand builders. They know how to control the narrative. So keep an eye on how Parsons handles these minicamp sessions. Now, as for what this mandatory minicamp actually is, let's break that down. It started Monday with physicals, no on-field work, just check-ins, meetings, medicals, and light team activity. The actual practice sessions run Tuesday through Thursday, with Friday being an off day. What are they allowed to do on the field? Here's the rundown. 2 practices per day max, capped at 3.5 hours total. Only the first session can be anything close to full speed. And even that's without pads or contact. The second session is just a walkthrough. No pads, no tackling, no live drills. Only 7 on 7, 9 on 7, and 11 on 11. And all of it is non-contact. So essentially, this is a refinement period. It's about perfecting alignments, responsibilities, communication, and route precision. Coaches use this time to see who understands the playbook, not who dominates physically. If you're expecting to see guys winning in the trenches, forget it. That part of football doesn't exist this week. This isn't real ball. This is install, timing, and execution. The running backs and receivers, they can flash a little. So can corners, safeties, and linebackers, who understand their reads. But for the most part, this is a glorified walkthrough. And let's be crystal clear. Don't overreact to anything that happens this week. A wide receiver who makes a couple of nice catches? Great. It's encouraging, but it doesn't lock up a roster spot. A corner who gets beat in 7 on 7? Fine. It's minicamp, not game film. This period isn't about sealing fates. It's about setting the tone. So enjoy the highlights. Enjoy the reports. But don't carry any of it too far forward into August. The real evaluations start in Oxnard. Until then, breathe, watch, wait, and yes, to those asking, I'm still here, still watching, still listening, still Cowboys. How about 'em?